5 4chan urban legends that feel way too real. It is currently 3:14 a.m. The rest of the world is completely asleep. My apartment is totally dark. The only illumination comes from the cold glare of my monitor. It casts a pale, sickly blue tint across my desk. It hits the walls. It highlights the dust drifting through the air. I have been staring at this screen for 9 hours straight. My neck is stiff. My eyes burn with a dull, persistent ache. On my screen are dozens of open tabs. They are archives of old image boards. Specifically, the paranormal board of 4chan. It is known simply as X. The internet has a strange way of preserving nightmares. Things get posted anonymously. They get buried under millions of new threads. They disappear into the digital void. But some stories do not die. They linger. They get archived by obsessed users. They get spoken about in quiet corners of the web tonight. I am compiling the 5 most notorious, deeply unsettling mysteries to ever surface from those boards. These are the ones that felt too real. The ones that left a permanent stain on the people who read them in real time. But something feels wrong tonight. The air in my room is changing. It feels heavy. It feels close. It is like the atmosphere right before a violent summer thunderstorm. My chest feels tight. I am going to document these archives anyway. I need to get them down. I need to organize the data. It is the only way to clear my mind. Story 1: The Backrooms. Origin 4chanx 2019. The first archive on my list is perhaps the most famous spatial anomaly on the internet. It began with a simple post in May of 2019. An anonymous user asked people to post disquieting images that just felt wrong. Another anonymous user replied with a photo. The photo showed an empty, yellowish interior space. It looked like an abandoned office. The walls were covered in cheap, mono-yellow wallpaper. The floor was covered in stained, damp carpet. The ceiling was lined with buzzing fluorescent light fixtures. The text accompanying the image was brief. It was written like a warning. If you are not careful and you knocklip out of reality in the wrong areas, you will end up in the backrooms. It is nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono-yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum. It is approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. The post captured the internet's imagination, but it was the underlying realism that terrified people. The idea that reality has glitches, that a person could simply slip through a solid wall, that you could find yourself trapped in an infinite sterile labyrinth, a place completely devoid of human life. Yet, the post hinted at something else. It warned that if you hear something wandering around nearby, you must run, because it sure as hell has heard you. I stop typing. I look away from the monitor. The silence in my apartment is gone. There is a low, faint sound. It is a steady, electric buzz. It sounds exactly like a failing fluorescent light ballast. It is a dry, irritating hum. I pause. I look up at my ceiling. My bedroom does not have fluorescent lights. I have a single, warm LED bulb in a ceramic fixture. It is currently turned off. The hum is not coming from my lamp. It seems to be coming from inside the walls themselves. It fills the room evenly. It vibrates slightly in my teeth. I squeeze my eyes shut. I take a deep, slow breath. This is just auditory fatigue. When you spend too much time in absolute silence, your brain amplifies internal noise. It is called tinnitus. Your nervous system creates a high-frequency hum to fill the void. It is a perfectly normal psychological response to isolation. I am completely fine. I am just hyper-focused. I need to move to the next file. Story 2: The Grifter. Origin 4chanx 2009. The second archive takes me back to the late 2000s. It is a legendary thread about a video known simply as The Grifter. According to the original 4chan threads, the video was a file that circulated on the deep web and private IRC channels around 2009. It was a movie file that supposedly contained highly distressing, experimental footage. The descriptions of the video were incredibly specific. It was filmed in a grainy, dark format. It looked like old cinematic film that had been damaged by chemicals. The audio was a chaotic mess of industrial noises, high-pitched shrieks, and a voice chanting in a strange language. The visuals included surreal, horrific imagery, a doll being buried alive in wet soil, strange, malformed shadows moving across a concrete floor, a close-up of a human face that seemed to melt and warp under extreme shadow. The real terror of the grifter thread was its reported effect on the viewers. Users claimed that watching the entire video caused severe psychological trauma. People reported intense nausea, long-lasting nightmares. Some even claimed it caused an unexplainable, sudden sickness. The thread became a ghost story. The actual file was hidden behind broken links and corrupted downloads. It became an urban legend of the digital age, a video that was a pathogen for the human mind. My computer screen suddenly blinks. The text editor minimizes itself. A new window opens in the center of the desktop. It is a media player interface. The skin of the player is outdated. It looks like an old version of Real Player from the early 2000s. The video box is completely pitch black. I try to close the window. I click the red X in the corner. Nothing happens. I press the Alt and F4 keys on my keyboard. The window remains open. The timer at the bottom of the player begins to count up. 0 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds. The black box changes. It is a grainy, green-tinted video feed. The quality is awful. It looks like it was captured on a broken tape recorder. It shows the interior of a room. The walls are dark. There is a strange, wet stain on the floorboards. The camera pans down slowly. It focuses on the space beneath a heavy piece of furniture. A foul odor suddenly hits my nostrils. It is sudden. It is thick. It smells like rancid grease mixed with rusted iron. It is the smell of a meat locker that has lost power. It makes the back of my throat swell. I pull my shirt over my nose. I stare back at the video. The camera is moving closer to the dark gap under the furniture. Inside the darkness, two small, pale shapes appear. They look like human fingers. They are twitching rhythmically against the floorboards. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I reach behind my computer tower. I pull the main power cable out of the wall. The monitor snaps to black. The room returns to darkness. The only light is the faint glow from the street lamp outside my window. The heavy, rancid smell lingers in the air for a few seconds. Then, it fades away. It vanishes as quickly as it arrived. I sit completely still in my chair. My heart is beating hard against my ribs. My skin feels cold and clammy. Did I actually smell that? Olfactory hallucinations are a known symptom of extreme stress. My mind is projecting the descriptions from the grifter thread into my physical environment. That is the only logical answer. The human brain is an incredibly powerful simulator. If you read about filth, your brain can make you smell it. I need to calm down. I need to turn the computer back on and finish this. I am a rational person. I am in control. Story 3. Normal for normal people. Origin 4chan X 2010. I plug the computer back in. The system boots up slowly. The fans log a loud, whirring protest before settling into a quiet hum. I reopen my text documents. The third story is one of the most surreal found footage mysteries on the web. It is called Normal for Normal People. The name was a deceptive title for a website that appeared around 2010. Users on 4chan discovered the link and began exploring its contents. The site was a plain, unformatted directory of video files. Despite the provocative name, the videos contained absolutely no adult content. Instead, they were short, silent loops of deeply bizarre, non-sequitur human behavior. One video showed a man in a cheap chimp mask sitting in a brightly lit room. He was holding a large knife. He spent 3 minutes slowly slicing a large, red apple into perfect, thin pieces, never eating them. Another video showed a woman standing in a barren backyard. She was spinning in slow circles until she lost her balance and fell into the dirt. She would get up and repeat the process. The loops were endless. The most disturbing video mentioned in the archives was titled Uncan 9, Avi. It showed a man standing in front of a bathroom sink. He was washing his hands. He washed them with intense, frantic energy. He used a rough bar of soap. He scrubbed his skin until the water in the sink turned a dark, muddy pink. He kept scrubbing even after the skin on his knuckles began to tear away. His face remained completely blank throughout the entire duration of the recording. There was no expression of pain. There was no emotion, just a vacant, dead stare into the mirror. The website vanished a few weeks after its discovery. It left behind only a trail of forum discussions and lingering questions about who made the videos and why. My phone vibrates on the desk. The sharp plastic buzz makes me flinch. I pick it up. The screen shows a text message from a contact name that is just a string of unreadable symbols. It looks like corrupted data. I open the message window. Unknown, the floor needs to be clean. The red must come out of the wood. I feel a lump form in my throat. My fingers are trembling as I type a response. Me, who is this? Stop texting this number. The reply comes back before I can even blink. It is a short video file. I tap the file. It plays instantly. The video is shot from a low angle. It is looking up from the floor of a hallway. It is a dark hallway with white baseboards and an amber nightlight. It is my hallway. The camera moves forward in short, jerky motions. It is sliding along the carpet. It approaches my bedroom door. It stops right at the bottom edge of the frame. From the speaker of my phone, a sound begins to play. It is a faint, wet sound. A wet slap against a hard surface, like a damp towel hitting a kitchen counter. I drop the phone onto the desk. I turn my head toward my bedroom door. The gap at the bottom of the door is dark. I hold my breath. I listen with every ounce of attention I have left. There it is. A faint, wet sliding sound from the other side of the wood. It is slow. It moves an inch. Then it stops. Then it moves another inch. It sounds like something heavy and damp is dragging itself down the corridor toward my position. I stand up from my chair. My knees feel weak. I walk over to the door. I press my ear against the painted wood. The surface feels unnaturally cold against my skin. Nothing. The hallway is completely silent now. I grab the brass doorknob. My hand is shaking so much the metal clicks against the lock. I turn it quickly and pull the door open. The hallway is empty. The amber nightlight casts long, still shadows down the length of the floor. The carpet is dry. The walls are bare. There is nobody there. I am losing my mind. I am experiencing a textbook case of acute sleep deprivation psychosis. When you do not sleep, the boundaries between your thoughts and reality begin to dissolve. Your brain starts dreaming while you are wide awake. The text message was probably just a spam bot using a random number generator. The video was a generic clip that my panicked mind misidentified as my own home. I am doing this to myself. I am constructing a trap out of internet urban legends. I need to finish the final 2 stories. Then I will sleep for 12 hours. Story 4, The Whistling Creep. Origin 4chanx 2012. I return to my desk. I do not look at my phone. I flip the device face down on the wood. I focus entirely on the keyboard. The 4th archive is a classic piece of creature lore from 2012. It is often referred to as the Whistling Creep thread. The post was written by a user who lived in a rural, heavily forested area of northern Pennsylvania. He described a series of incidents that occurred over the course of a bitter winter. It started with a sound in the woods late at night, a whistle. It was a very specific melody. It was a cheery, upbeat tune that sounded like someone strolling down a city street, but it was happening in the middle of a dense, snow-covered forest at 4 a.m. The user noted that the whistling would move with impossible speed. It would sound like it was half a mile away in the trees. Then, 5 seconds later, the exact same tune would blast from the edge of his clearing. No human could run through deep snow that fast without making a sound. As the weeks went by, the entity grew bolder. It began coming onto his property. The user posted photos of tracks left in the snow. They were not animal prints. They looked like elongated human footprints, but the toes were far too long and the stride length was over 8 feet apart. The most terrifying update came in February. The user reported that the whistling had stopped. Instead, the entity began to speak. It would stand right outside his cabin walls and mimic the voices of his neighbors. It would call his name using his mother's voice. But the tone was entirely wrong. It was flat. It lacked the natural cadence of human speech. It sounded like a machine replaying a low-quality audio recording. The user's final post stated that he could see a face looking through his high loft window. A face with skin like wrinkled gray leather and eyes that did not reflect the light. The thread was archived before any further updates were made. A sound cuts through the silence of my room. It is a high, clear whistle. It is a melody. It is a jaunty, upbeat tune. It sounds like someone whistling while they walk down a sunny sidewalk. It is coming from right outside my window. My apartment is on the 3rd floor. There is a sheer, 3-story drop of brick wall right outside my glass pane. There is no balcony. There are no fire escapes. There are no trees near this side of the building. It is physically impossible for a human being to be standing outside that glass. The whistling continues. It is loud. It is crisp. It echoes slightly off the glass. The notes are perfect. Too perfect. There is no sound of breathing between the phrases. It is a continuous, unbroken loop of digital clarity. I am paralyzed in my chair. My hands are gripped tightly around the edges of the desk. My knuckles are white. This cannot be a hallucination. The sound is too sharp. It is vibrating the air inside my room. I force myself to turn my head. I look at the window blinds. They are drawn shut, but the slats are slightly open. The whistling suddenly stops mid-note. The silence returns, heavier than before. Then a soft sound. A wet, rubbery friction against the outside of the glass, like someone pressing a wet palm flat against the window pane. The glass begins to creak under a slow, immense pressure. The frame groans. I stand up and take 3 steps backward. My back hits the wall near my closet. I stare at the blinds. Through the narrow gaps between the plastic slats, I see something move. It is a hand, but the fingers are massive. They are thin, pale, and have too many joints. They are pressed flat against the outside of the 3rd-story glass. The skin is a dull, sickly gray. Then a voice comes through the glass. It is muffled by the double-pane window, but it is completely audible. Voice, I am a rational person. I am in control. It is my voice. It is the exact sentence I said to myself 10 minutes ago, but the delivery is completely dead. The words are stitched together with no space between them. It sounds like a corrupted voice file being played on a loop. My mind is completely tearing at the seams. I am standing in my own room, but nothing around me feels real anymore. Is this my apartment? Am I actually awake? I bite the inside of my lip as hard as I can. The sharp taste of copper fills my mouth. The pain is real. The metallic taste is real. I am awake. The horror is leaking out of the screen. The internet is not a window. It is a doorway. And tonight, I left it wide open. Story 5, The Hidden Basement Hatch. Origin 4chanb, 2013. I run back to my desk. I do not look at the window. I do not look at the door. I slam my hands onto the keyboard. I need to type. I need to finish the fifth archive, the final story. It is the most visceral thread to ever come out of the image boards. It is known as the hidden basement hatch. It happened in 2013 on the random board. A user posted that he had just bought an old house in a rural town. While clearing out the basement, he moved a large, rusted metal shelving unit that had been bolted to the back wall. Behind the shelf, he found a small, square wooden hatch. It was secured with an old iron latch. The user began posting pictures in real time. He opened the hatch. Behind it was a narrow, unlined dirt tunnel that led straight down into the earth beneath his foundation. It was not part of the house blueprints. It was an illegal, hidden excavation. Anonymous users urged him to go inside. He brought a flashlight and his phone. He took photos every 10 yards. The tunnel was cramped. The dirt walls were covered in deep, jagged claw marks, like someone had dug the entire passage using their bare hands. After 40 yards, the tunnel opened into a small, square room made of rough concrete blocks. The photos showed a terrifying scene. There was an old, stained mattress on the floor. There were rusted chains bolted to the wall. But the most horrifying detail was a collection of clothes. Small, modern children's shoes. Recent newspapers. Someone had been living down there. Someone had been keeping people down there. The user's final live photo was a shot of the stairs leading back up to his basement. The flashlight beam was hitting the top of the hatch. Standing at the top of the opening, looking down into the tunnel, was a pair of dirty, bare human feet. The toes were curled tightly over the edge of the wood. The final text post from the user was a single line. It heard me open the door. It was already inside the house. The thread went dead. The user never posted again. The location was never verified. It became another silent tragedy buried under the noise of the web. I finished the paragraph. My fingers stopped moving. A loud, splintering crack echoes through my room. The sound did not come from the door. It did not come from the window. It came from directly beneath my feet. I look down at the floor. My desk sits on top of an old, brown area rug. The rug covers the hardwood floorboards of the bedroom. Right now, the center of the rug is lifting up. Something from underneath is pushing the fabric upward. The old wood beneath the carpet is groaning. The nails are pulling out of the joists with a sharp, metallic screech. There is no apartment below me. I am on the third floor, but my layout is directly above a concrete storage utility room that is always locked. There are no crawl spaces beneath my floorboards. There are no vents large enough for a person. The floorboards beneath my desk chair completely give way with a deafening snap. The rug tears open. A gaping black hole appears in the center of my bedroom floor. It is not an apartment below. It is a dark, narrow shaft of raw, damp earth. The smell of wet soil and old iron floods the room instantly. It is thick. It is suffocating. From inside the black hole, a hand reaches out. It grips the edge of the torn carpet. The fingers are elongated, gray, and tipped with thick, broken nails. The skin is covered in dried mud and old grease. The yellow light of my desktop monitor begins to flicker wildly. It pulses like a dying strobe light. With every flash of light, the hole in my floor gets larger. The space around me is warping. The corners of my bedroom are stretching outward. The yellow wallpaper from the backrooms is bleeding through my plaster walls. I am trapped. My reality has been completely overwritten by the archives. The folklore has become physical architecture. Another hand emerges from the earth. A head follows. It is a malformed gray shape. It has no hair. Its eyes are wide, glassy, and pitch black. They reflect the blue glare of my computer screen. It looks up at me. Its jaw drops open with a wet, sickening click. It opens far wider than a human mouth should ever open. The voice that comes out of its throat is loud. It is clear. It is a perfect, flawless imitation of my own voice, but it is speaking backwards. The syllables are inverted, a chaotic mechanical mimicry that vibrates the bones in my skull. I back away, but my foot catches on the edge of the closet door. I fall backward onto the floor. The cold, damp soil of the tunnel is now spreading across my carpet like a liquid. The computer screen flashes one final time before exploding into sparks. The darkness is total. The wet, rattling breathing is right above me now. I can feel the cold air from its throat hitting my face. It is over. The deep web is here. Voice error 404. File not found.